Right, welcome everyone. Welcome to our wrap-up session. Hopefully now you've been through all the different bits and pieces, and I'm going to get into my marking mode as of tomorrow. So I'm hoping all the bits and pieces are in place. And so that's kind of what today's session is about. Where are these things so I can find them? I've also got a little post-course evaluation / questionnaire that I'd like you to complete. So that's going to be most of what we're doing. If there's also any frustrations or anything that I need to be aware of, you need to let me know now. And yeah, then we can wrap this this little section up. Before we get started, let's talk a little bit about Pressbooks. What did people think of this facility? COL is very keen that you get up to speed with it. What were your impressions? And you can be either pro or con. I'm not particularly invested. What did people think? You can either put your comments in the chat. Let me get the chat up so I can see what people are saying. Or you can put your hand up and we'll start off with a little discussion about that Pressbooks app. What did you think of it? Okay, I'm having a look. No one seems to be keen to give their opinion. Did you like it? Did you not like it? Did you see a use for it? Not a use for it? What do people think? Nope. All right, let me choose someone. Let's go with Vicky. Vicky's often got an opinion. Let's go with Vicky. What do you think, Vicky?
Good afternoon, everyone. I tried something. I think it's something. So I try to sort of put together the different bits and pieces from my course.
Yeah.
Especially the main concepts that I want to pass on. So I just press it in one whole book. It's not one of the best, but it came out to be a book anyway. So I tried something, but what I noticed is that time. You have to run against time here, you see.
You got to put the effort in.
Yeah, but you will find something at least. You'll find the introduction, the different chapters, and as you browse through along, and also I'll try to play along with the license use everything that we've learned. So I'll try to put together something. So yeah, it's how can I say, appealing, it's motivating, I'm excited.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so moving away from the textbook to something online, it's just wonderful. It's great. Thank you.
So I'm looking at in the chat as well, and I can see that Shauna felt the same way. She said she had time constraints, and that to actually create a textbook properly using that platform requires a bit of preparation, and that you already need your materials already written. So it's not really a platform for writing. You need to have all your bits and pieces ready. So I kind of agree with that. Joycelyn said she likes it. She loves it. But again, she also mentions that it is time consuming. All right. So I don't think it's rocket science. I think it's pretty straightforward, but it is really works best if you've done your prep beforehand in terms of accumulating all of your content, etc. I see Sandra says, I tried to create one, but have difficulty to design the book cover, although I used Canvas. All right. So yes, you can create your own artwork, but that's kind of like you have to do it off the screen. You've got to do it in your own graphic tools, and then you can import it into the Pressbooks. So again, Pressbooks is more about pulling all these various resources together. So I kind of agree with that. Gina says it's cool. Tony says that he thought it was quite difficult. All right. So unless you're into publishing or have been in publishing before, all this front end, back end business, and even the licensing, which we've done some of the training on, but even that requires some prior knowledge. So it can be, Tony, I wouldn't feel bad about it. I think it's kind of how much experience you've got. It really is a tool just for putting together a book. Sandra says that she stuck it in her Moodle. Angela says it was okay. I gave it a try because of my hectic work. I rushed and it's not totally complete. Okay, it kind of reinforces what we've been saying. And Lena says, I did enjoy exploring Pressbooks, but I couldn't design the book cover. And after downloading it, I noticed 2 blank pages. I went back to sort it out, but could not find a solution to it. All right, so off the top of my head, I can't say what it is. We'll have to have a look and see what's in there. All right. So, yep, the more you play with it, the better you get at it. As you can see, it's not something I particularly use regularly, but it is something that COL believes could be useful in the Seychelles in terms of moving from paper-based textbooks to digital textbooks. So keep that in mind. All right. How did the videos go? Have you got all the videos happening? I had 1 or 2 people mention that they've got issues, but generally I'm hoping these videos are finished. We saw some excellent ones last week, and I'm hoping we've got a few more. We won't showcase them today. I want to show you other bits and pieces to wrap up, but please make sure that they're embedded in your little course, because I am going to be doing some marking over the next few days to make sure that everything's in place. All right, what else have we got? Let me just check the chat again. There's another comment. Joycelyn says that Pressbooks, she agrees that she believes it will be useful in the future going forward. So my understanding is the Ministry of Education in the Seychelles is about to get a subscription. So the ones you were playing with were the free ones. You had a couple of days where you could muck with it. But they wanted you to go onto a plan. You don't have to do that, a subscription. The ministry is going to get one which will allow educators to build. And the nice thing is the subscription they're going for will allow you to put some interactivity into it. One of my problems with the Pressbooks in the past has always been that it's static. It really is just like a normal textbook, except it's on the digital platform. It's very much a passive endeavor by the learner. They have to read it and hopefully acquire the skills and knowledge. But now they're beginning to add some interactivity. So there'll be little quizzes and you can embed videos and so on and so on. So that's going to be quite nice in the future. So we'll wait and see what the ministry gets in terms of a subscription, which will allow you all this additional functionality. All right. So what would I like you to do today? All right. So I'm going to go through what I'm looking for in order to do my marking, and so that you've got a day or so to finalize all your bits and pieces. All right, so I said in the mail, let's go to the mail, because I wrote it up for you guys in the mail. Was it this one? This will do. All right, so let me just get this nice and big, and I'll stick it in Word so it's nice and clear. Oh no, not that one. This one. Oh. There we go. All right, so let's make this nice and big so you can see it. We'll just zoom in. All right. So what am I looking for? I am looking for one completed course planning template. Remember, we've been doing this template over the last couple of weeks, and I want you to have it finished. So there's a column for your structure, and there is a column for your objectives, and there's a column for your activities, and there's a column for your assessment, etc. And there's even a column for open educational resources and various other bits and pieces that you might find. So this course was about blended learning, designing and building blended learning. So we wanted to see that you had planned it out and thought about it in some detail. All right. So the keeping in mind then there's a combination of online and there's also some face-to-face. And so how do all the pieces fit together? So that was one of the things. In fact, it's a very important thing. That'll tell us whether you kind of get this blended learning thing. Number 2 is a little Moodle. We gave you a sandpit to play in. We've been popping in there in and out each week, and some of them are really coming on really nicely. So I want to have a look and see what you've done in your Moodle course. And then I would like you to give me your press book just so I can have a look at it. It's not for very many points. It's more or less, have you done it? All right. So please submit your press book as well. But let's go back to the Moodle course. So what are we looking for? And this is the main thing. Let me make this nice and big. All right, here we go. So I want to see, have you laid out your Moodle course as you had described it in the template? I want to see that there's a connection between the structure you envisaged when you were planning and what you have finally built. All right. And you might remember in that very first session, I said, yeah, and stick in some labels where it's very clear what your objectives are for that piece of work. And remember, Moodle's in blocks. They have these different, or topics, into topics. So what are you doing within each topic or each block? Okay, so what are the objectives, what you're trying to do? And then, so once that's up, then I'm going to try and see if you've got a student activity and that it's clearly explained. I want to see if I was a student and I'm trying to grapple with the online component of the work and there is an activity, have you clearly given explicit instructions about what they're supposed to do, when and where, and are all the tools in place that they need in order to do the activity? So be there, clear instructions for at least one student activity. And I want to see that it's a cool activity for online. So is it a forum? Is it an assignment? Is there something that they got to do and then show you, that type of thing? So that's what I'm interested to see. Have you chosen a nice activity, and have you described it well? And then I want to see the quiz. We had a whole session on assessment. We talked of formative and summative assessment. And then we said there's a whole load of different tools you can use. You can use the quiz, you can use the assignment tool, etc., etc. But I want to see, have you mastered the quiz? Have you used a number of different question types? Does it work? Does it have a marking system so that when it's finished, it can supply the mark, you got X marks, and so on? I'd also like to see if there's a little bit of feedback. If it's formative, remember, it's important that there's some type of feedback, and so on. And then the second to last session, we looked at content, all the different types of content, and your assignment was to build a little introductory video. And some of you went to town, and they're really nice. So let's see if you've embedded it into your course, your little video. It doesn't have to be polished, but it has to be clear. And remember all the little tips we came across in order to make a good instructional video, little educational video. What do you have to do? Let's see if any of it's stuck. So can you do that? All right. So those are the 3 things I'm looking at: the plan or the template, your little Moodle course with these couple of things in there, clear structure, an activity, a quiz, and your video. And then I want to just see what your press book looks like. Okay. So this one's minor, 5%. This one can be, this one I'm going to make 60. Let's do it so you can see. So this one will be for 60%. This guy is, okay, this guy can be for 30%. And this guy can be for 10. We'll make it like that, so it's clear. That's going to be the structure. So if you're going to, no, I'm busy. You'll have to come back. Yeah, not now. So yeah, so if we're going to make these 60, let's do this. So we got 60 here. So how many? It's got to add up to 60. So let's make clear core structure. I think that's, we'll give it a 10. Another 10. A functional quiz is quite a lot of work. We'll make this 20. And we'll make this 20. So there you go. That's how I'm going to mark it. So in your minds then, have you done enough justice there? So you'll notice this comes to 60, 10, 20, 40, 60, which is that one. But I'm going to give a lot to your plan because you've got to have a good plan. Otherwise, you never get a good course. And then, yeah, there's a little bit extra for the press books. Are there any questions about how I'm going to mark them? All right. So if I have a look, then where do I want these things? So to make my life easier, I wouldn't mind if you did it now even. Can you go onto our site at colv.org, tel.colv.org, and I want you to come to the last thing. So let me just go back to the, you'll come in. Let me go to my dashboard. I've got a blended learning. So you come into blended learning and here it is. And I'd like you to help me by loading it into the follow-up section. So let's rename it so it's clear. Of course, you know all this now. So you're going, oh, yes, I know exactly what it's doing. All right, so we'll come down to the thing. We'll call it follow-up and final submission. There we go. And you'll notice I'm going to put the little video again here. So if you want to see what I just described, you can have it there. And the this is where I want you to submit the final document. My problem with this, the way this has been set up, is that there's multiple different places where you might have put your template. So I'd like your final one, the one that you're happy with, the one that's going to get you all those marks, all right, in here. So can you upload it in here? The press book thing, they're all over the place. Can you give me the one you want me to share and put it in here? All right. I know where your LMSs are, so let me just show you where I think it is. Okay, these are all my courses. If I go into here, these are yours. All right, so I'm going to go through here and look at who is the teacher. And if it's two of you, you're going to share the mark equally. All right, unless you kick up a big fuss. So at the moment, if you have, let's just look at one such as River. All right, so here's River, and you can see a lot of work has gone on in River. And let's see who the participants are of River. All right, so it's Fenella and Lena. All right, so unless I hear otherwise, it's 50-50. All right, in terms of the marks for the River course. All right. If you're coming in late and your course isn't here, well, you better make a scream and a shout because you haven't got much time left. All right, you've got to go no longer than a day. Right, and that's how I want you to, those are your three places. Can you put the template, the finished template, the one you want me to mark in here, and your best press book, because some of you said you've had a couple of different goes and so on, the best one in here, and no later than, let's say, the end of business tomorrow. All right, but I'll start looking at the Moodle tomorrow morning. Okay. All right. Let's have a look at some things have popped up. Joycean has said in the template, there is a column called facilitating online. All right. We haven't really done that in any detail. All you've really seen is an attempt by me. I remember the one time I didn't even pitch up. Me trying to do it as best as possible. And I don't think I'm particularly a great facilitator. All right. So I would say you can leave that last column blank because we haven't really done a lot on it. If you look at the structure of our course, we went for coming up with a good structure, coming up with learning activities, coming up with a good assessment, coming up with learning resources. And the fifth one was a combination: management, feedback, and the little course library. So we haven't really touched on facilitating in any seriousness. All right. So I'm going to say leave that one. If you think you've got some ideas, stick them in. I'll be interested to see what you think. But I'm not going to allocate anything serious, well, nothing to that particular column. Shauna has asked me, is the PDF version of the Pressbook enough to submit? Yes. So you've got to give me either give me PDF, because then I don't have to worry about trying to find an app to open it. PDF is fine. It looks the same. It's obviously it's not online. It's a document, but at least I can see what you attempted and what it looks like. So PDF is cool. All right. Any other queries, questions yet? All right. So you can do that now if you want. If you've already got the final versions, you can start uploading them. If you're starting from scratch, hopefully not, then here's the empty template. And one other thing I'd like you to do today is to have a go at this post-course questionnaire. So it's almost the same as the one that you filled in on the first day. 16 of you filled them in. It was a pre-test. So I would say 80% of the questions are very similar. And then there's a couple of extras now that you've got some hindsight. So can you do that? And can you do that now? So can you come in and click on there? And we've got a post test for you. It's pretty straightforward. It shouldn't take you very long. But there are a couple of paragraph questions at the end, which were very interesting for us. What elements of the training did you enjoy the most? What elements of training were the most frustrating? And what could we have done better to make this more effective? All right, so there's 3 paragraphs at the end. Otherwise, it's very much about clicking buttons. And I'm even going to put the link in the chat to make it very easy for you to get in there. Copy the link. All right. Sandra has asked me to dig out the thing on assessment. I'll see if I've got it. The COL lady said she couldn't find any. I think I've got one extra one. I'm hoping it is the assessment one. Okay. So I'll stick that in the right place. Where you find them is, let me just check. No, not that one. Was it here? Yes, I've loaded them under the synchronous session. So there was the link for this session. Let me just turn the editing off. For week number 5, and then I loaded it in there. So you can find them there. Yada, yada, yada. Choose the little link. Scary stuff. All right. And you can obviously make it full screen and so on. All right. So So Sandra, I'll see if I can find that one. I'm not sure which. I got one other that I can upload. Okay, all right. All right, so I've put the link in the chat. Can you click on there and spend the next 8 to 10 minutes? I don't think it's going to take that very long to do that while we're here, so that we can at least have 11. I see we have, well, 10. We can have 10 responses, and that's a good start. I see 3 people already at it. Let's see a few more. While you're doing that, I'm going to just turn the screen off so I can go look for that video. So let me have a look while you're working on the questionnaire. Okay, I see 5 of you are done. And so it's half of you. Do you want to have another for the rest? Have a go. Type in, yes, I am with the face-to-face training. So there will be times when you pull the sense when you have everyone together face-to-face. Again, in the chat, it says they're developing blended courses using the Moodle learning management system. So Moodle is like a brand. So, and then hopefully by the end of week, Emmeline, sorry, the one I've got is the first one. So we don't, the one that we did for assessment seems to have gone missing. I'll talk to COL and see if they've got it. Let's have a look. We've got 7 of you so far. A few more, and then we can, while I'm waiting, I'll just load this video in. I've got to send it to YouTube. You guys all know this now. All right, well, I hope it now I'm uploading a video while we're doing this thing. I hope it doesn't muck up the Zoom, but anyway, let's see what happens. How many have we got so far? 7 responses. Let's refresh. Still 7. We'll just wait a little bit more. All right, so the 3 of you out there still doing it, you try. I'm just going to show people some of the feedback that we're getting and to see, we can then have a discussion about whether you think it is typical. So let me share my screen again so you can see. All right, so at the moment we've got 7 responses, and it looks like oh, 8. It looks like you're not really struggling with what Moodle stands for. It's interesting, the question, or let me make this a little bit bigger so you can see. Okay, so then we asked which module allows embedding a video. It's a bit of a nasty question, actually, because 3 of them are kind of correct. You could paste your URL from YouTube in, or you could embed it in a page, or you could actually upload the file. So I don't know why Cole asked that question. I think it's a bit of a silly question. But at least not a lot of you went for folder. So that's good. And then, do you intend to complete your course after the training? I'm hoping 3 was yes, because it looks like that's the main one. And then some of you saying, okay, maybe. All right. A word of information is that if you do want your course to go onto the ministry's Moodle, then you need to let me know, because then I can back it up and give it to you, and then we can install it on the ministry Moodle. So you can do it when you're finished. There's no rush. We can sitting on the MBA server is fine for now, but keep that in mind. And then it said, rate your proficiency at the following skills. Navigating Moodle doesn't seem to be causing any trouble. Everyone seems to be quite clear about moving around. Developing a course structure. Most of you are saying, I'm okay, I'm good, or I'm very good. Developing online assessment. I'm okay is by far the most predominant of them. 6 out of 8 of you said that. You're not feeling super confident, but it is, the door is open, and we've got one person saying that they feel good and one person saying that they feel very good. Developing digital content. Again, okay, yeah. Which is interesting because a lot of you love the videos, but anyway, cool, because videos are digital content. Facilitating an LMS-based course. Some of you said, okay, I'm assuming you're just saying, can I do what Andrew's doing? It's not rocket science, but I'm hoping you can do it better than me. The creating digital textbooks. This is the only one that's a little bit skewed right in the middle. 4 saying okay, 1 saying not wonderful, and 2 saying, oh, I'm good. All right, so that's interesting. Looks like we've given you a taste, but none of you are really going out there and saying I'm an expert now. Okay, or one of you. Okay. What do you believe might potentially limit your ability to continue developing courses into the future? Time, medium to large barriers for some of you saying, yeah, it is an issue, small barrier. Access to a digital device. A lot of you saying, no, that's not really a problem. If we want to, we can organize. Connectivity, same story. When 2 of you saying that could be an issue, 2 saying small barrier, and 4 saying actually it's not a barrier, we can make a plan. Access to Moodle, no real barrier. You can have your own Moodle, by the way. I have mentioned this right at the beginning. So don't forget, you can go and have a look at moodlecloud.com, I think it is. Do they offer you a free one? Oops, did I spell it wrong? Oh, I did. All right, so you can go to Moodle Cloud and you can log in. If you have an account already, you can see I have one. And then it explains that this is like Google Classroom, except it's much more powerful. Okay, Google Classroom is like an LMS Lite, whereas Moodle Cloud is a proper LMS. It has all the statistics. Let's have a look. They've got a starter plan, which I think is free. It used to be. Start off, try our off-the-shelf LMS free to start teaching your class. So if you've got one class and you want to try it out, then you can do your own one. So Moodle Cloud is a good place to start. As soon as you start using it seriously, though, then they want you to move on to another plan. You can see it's not cheap, 150 Australian dollars. So you're allowed to have 50 users. Now, I wouldn't go this route. The ministry is setting up their own Moodle platform, which will allow educators in the Seychelles to actually have a space on there to do your own one. But if you're tired of waiting for the ministry and you want to have a go, then try the starter. And if you're really, really into it, you've got to dig out 150 Australian dollars. Let's see how much that is. 150 Australian dollars in Seychelles. What have you got? Rupees. Oh. Puppies. Rupees. Okay, it's not cheap. Look. So, yeah. So rather harass the ministry. They said they would do this for you guys. All right. So there's a free one to try. Otherwise, you can harass the ministry. All right. Let's have a look at what else you guys said in the survey. Okay. Access to Moodle. Then we said access to Pressbooks, not too much of an issue. Complexity of my subject, not an issue. Lack of digital skills, no. And personal finance and costs, yeah, some people are saying this is an issue. I mean, in the end, if you're having to pay for bandwidth, then this is all in the cloud. Other barriers, connection to the internet and teaching workload at workplace, says someone. All right. How easy was it to use Moodle? Medium. Okay. What elements of the training did you enjoy the most? All right. The interaction and the practice activities twice, synchronous Zoom sessions, the wonderful Mr. Moore. What are you smoking? Creating the videos, creating the activities and the assessments, every part of it actually, designing the different activities in Moodle, especially the quizzes. Cool. Okay, so there was a nice spread of different things. What elements of the training was the most frustrating? The press books, because they didn't have my subject twice. Time available for development. It was quite difficult to organize my workload around this course. And I get that. I mean, you guys, it's 5:30. So, you know, you got to add this on top of your normal day and still prepare for tomorrow. Limit time to produce a quality press book for publishing. However, I tried my utmost to create a piece of it. Again, someone else doesn't really like the press book. Developing the course outline was a challenge, but seeing that there, this is really, really important, that when you're designing your courses, you got to get your plan in place. Your outline needs to be clear. Otherwise, you can't really build properly in Moodle because you don't know what's coming next. But if you've got a plan, it's easier. Week 5, the assignment for I was marking and recording exams plus teaching. Ugh, sounds horrendous. Okay, so again, the demand on your time for all your different responsibilities. Press books again, not a favorite. Okay, how might we make the course better or more effective? More practice to create the learning design blended course. Yeah, and so this, obviously we didn't do blended learning. We did online learning. So COL and the ministry couldn't afford to have me live there. My missus would have enjoyed living in the Seychelles for how many weeks? 6 weeks. But obviously I couldn't be there to do the face-to-face component. And so we didn't really emulate the model we're trying to encourage you to do. All right. So I do think you need more practice, and you need someone there to keep an eye on things. So I think we needed more practical sessions where you had the facilitator and you guys, and then you can say, hey, how do we do this and how do we do that? So I kind of agree with that one. Perhaps enroll teachers when they're on holiday. Okay, some will love that, some will not, but this would give us more time. And I think that's the real thing here is you needed probably more time to master it. But at the same time, if it had given you more time, you probably would have found you were doing other things and not the training. So that's a catch-22, that one. Oh, that's nice. This person appreciates all the people involved in making this course possible. Cool. Since we are teachers, I think time is an issue. More time is needed. Yep. It's, as we've mentioned already. Give study day for students so that the teachers can focus on their Moodle. That's a good idea. All right. Time of the synchronous session. Well, we had a big fight over that, didn't we? Some of you wanted straight after school. Others wanted you in the evening. Oh, I don't know. So that's the way it happened. We had the ministry even weighing in on that one. So anyway, it's hard to please everyone all the time. Let me just see if there's any more responses. I'll just refresh my screen. No, we're still on 8. Okay, guys, that's very useful, and I'm cool. All right. So what are we picking up from the little survey is that some of you really enjoyed it, but it was not without some pain. All right, that there were other competing priorities. You didn't feel you had enough time, didn't feel you had enough opportunities to be practical. Your facilitator was far away online. So at least we could meet virtually, but it would have been nice if we could all get together. Yeah. Okay. I will synthesize all this information. I'll try and get a bit more. I think I'd like to know why those people who aren't here now, why they couldn't make it, because I think that's the other half of what the survey could tell us. So I will investigate, but thank you very much for doing that. That's very useful. All right, and oh no, it's another part of my life. Let's go back here. There we go. All right, and let's have a look. How many of you have submitted? 8 of you have submitted your little template. Cool. I'm going to fuss and make a noise to get some more, but excellent. And how many of you have submitted your press books? 2 of you. All right. So I think this press books is like is going to be a bugbear, especially as it's for so many marks. All right. But if you can, I'll give you another day. This time tomorrow, I'm going to close it down, and then what I've got, I will finalize the marks with. I'll get starting marking in the morning once you guys have uploaded all the last bits and pieces. Let me have a look what's in the Shauna, I think you're in there twice, Shauna. I think you did it twice because I could see your name pop up twice. Sandra has also done hers. Oh, and Shauna says, I can bring the missus next time. She'll love that. She says, where are you going? Seychelles. Oh, that's not fair. All right. And last time I enjoyed my trip. It was really great, as you saw from the video. Okay. Cool. All right. So I think we are there. I think it's now a case of me going carefully through what you have submitted and having a think and providing you with a little bit of feedback. I'll give you feedback in the comments. And I'm hoping that this isn't the end. I will now also chase up John and is it Daniela, who are at the ministry, and I don't think she's involved. I don't think she's in the ministry. Oh, I don't know, not sure. So they need to now chase up on those two platforms. They said they would get a Pressbooks platform and a Moodle platform for you guys. So I'd like you to continue working on that. There will be a certificate. COL and the ministry will have their logos on, and we will send those out. So on successful completion, I think, yeah, I think we're there. All right. Any other questions? I'm looking in the chat. My Pressbook is in my Moodle. Cannot download it in the follow-up. All right. Sandra, do me a favor and just upload a page in Word, just saying where it is and a link to it maybe, so that I can get to it easily enough. I'll never remember tomorrow evening when I start going through all the bits and pieces. So where it says submit a Pressbook, can you just submit a Word document and let me know where it is, and I can mark it then. All right. Is there anything else? No, not that one. This one. Okay. All right. In that case, we've been going an hour. I'm going to miss having you guys. There is an outside chance that I might come again. COL needs to be set up so that they can start moving their content into digital formats and then into a ministerial repository. So they might need me for that. I'm hoping that it does come through, and then I can meet up with you guys. We can have a reunion face to face. That would be great. So good luck, people. Good luck in your endeavors. Good luck with all your teaching. I miss teaching. As you know, I was a teacher for many years, 14 years. So I miss the teaching. I don't miss the marking. So that was the one thing I didn't like. But luckily, I'm interested to see what you guys are up to. I want to see your videos. I want to see all your courses. So that's going to be easy. Yeah, I'm looking at what you guys are saying. Oh, you say all the right things, but you see, I haven't marked yet. I know you guys. Cool. Okay. Thank you very much. I will see you around. I'll see you around, and look out for your little email. I'll tell you guys when you can come in and have a look at all your marks and stuff. Thanks, Vicky. That's nice. Thank you, Shauna. Thank you, Gina. Thank you, Joyce. That's great. Thank you. Yeah. All right. You're free to go. Enjoy your evening. And if you haven't got all your stuff in, please do it by this time tomorrow. Then I'm going to shut it down and finalize the marking. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to miss it too. It's been good fun. Emmeline, I got to find it. The recording is not on assessment. That's the very first one I see I've got. So I'm going to load that into the COL course page, and then I'm going to investigate what happened to those others. Where did they go? I don't have them. Cool. Thanks, Tony. I'll send communications out soon. Okay, everyone. Ciao. Thank you. Free to go.
Thank you so much, sir.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.